Baby doll eyes. The tech move into the Groudon. What is up, boys, girls, and everyone else? James back here, and welcome back to some more 21 back-to-back battles. Today we're going to be playing some more Stadium Ladder games and using this choice banded Groudon team featuring Durant and Sigilyph. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, highly recommend go check them out. And of course, if you want to try out the team, there is a paste bin down below in the description, as well as a rental code. Make sure you use the team while you can, though. You have 2 weeks to grab this rental code while it is available, so make sure you try it out while you can. Of course, if you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below and leave a comment down below, as it really does help out the channel. Be sure to answer the common question of today, which is going to be, what has been your favorite legendary to use? And if you don't play VGC 21, what is your favorite legendary Pokemon that you have liked to watch do well in Series 8? For me, probably out of the Pokemon that I have used so far, I have really enjoyed using Kyogre on stream, and I think it's just like a comfort pick. I do pretty well with Kyogre. It's probably one of the Pokemon that I've used most successfully ever. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. But otherwise, let's get started with today's video. All right, this game is Zacian, Thundurus, Incineroar, Mimikyu, the Mamoswine, and Nihilego. So interesting team. If I can get gravity up, I do amazing. The problem is Mamoswine's a little bit tough to handle. All right, what can I do? Because I guess Thundurus isn't a bad lead here if they lead Mamoswine plus the Thundurus, right? Yeah, like Durant does pretty well here in general against their team, especially with like Steel Spike stuff and Rockfall to KO the Thundurus. So I think Sigilyph Durant is probably the best lead here. Offensively, it does fantastic. I could also go like maybe like Groudon Venu, but I don't want to fall into like Incineroar plus Thundurus lead, which is definitely a potential lead that they could go for. I think I have Groudon in the back for sure. I don't know my last Pokemon. Incineroar is tempting because I have Fake Out Pressure and it helps against Zacian, which helps check it. Rotom-Wash is kind of nice, although a little bit tricky, especially if I'm bringing the Sun mode. So I think Incin, especially with the Intimidate and Taunt for the Mimikyu specifically. So there's a lot of interesting factors on the team. Mimikyu is interesting because I don't know what kind of set it will be. Trick Room could be a potential set, although the team doesn't really look like it's a Trick Room oriented set or oriented team. It could just be Taunt, maybe like Sword Stance. I'm not exactly too sure. Could be like Will-O-Wisp. Zacian Thundurus, okay, pretty okay lead for me, I think. Actually, no, that's not terrible lead, because if I can knock out the Thundurus with like a Rockfall here, I'd be in a good spot. I don't know if they can pick up a knockout unless they're Life Orb. I think they need to have Life Orb in order to pick up a knockout. Rockfall, I feel like does KO Thundurus. That's tough to say. I actually don't know. I feel like it should. And then I think I could get Tailwind up. Or do I go Trick Room? Because I could Trick Room theoretically as well. I kind of want a Tailwind. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to Tailwind. Because Durant is still pretty good offensively. We're going to see the Zacian switch out. So that means probably the Incineroar. Okay, that's fine. If I can get rid of Thundurus and start Steel Spiking up, I think I'm in a really solid position. So I don't care if they Airstream here. Because Groudon without gravity is still good here as long as I hit Blades. Because the only Pokemon that's immune to ground is the Thundurus. So as long as I check the Thundurus, we should be fine. So we are going to see the Dynamax from the Thundurus come out, which is completely okay here. And then what's the upcoming turn? Max Guard. Let's find out the item first on Thundurus, because it might be Assault Vest. There are usually only 2 items, Assault Vest, or it's usually either Assault Vest or it's going to be Life Orb. So once we figure out the item, that's going to be really crucial here. Thankfully, they were worried about, I guess, losing their Zacian to the Durant, because I think Quake should knock out Zacian, and Rockfall is really threatening to the Thundurus. So we have an okay spot. Let's see here. Gonna be the Airstream. Yep, fair. Into the Durant. Durant actually takes that really well. That's definitely not Life Orb, so that definitely should be like an Assault Vest set. And that's actually pretty good for me, because now I could go for Gravity setup, I think. Yeah, I could definitely set up a Gravity here. And Rockfall is gonna be able to... should be to a KO to Thundurus, or just knock out. I think that's a crit, but I guess. I mean, I actually think I preferred it not to crit, actually, because I wanted to Rockfall into a gravity situation this turn. Now they get a free switch, which is actually kind of awkward for me, I think. But it's not the worst case, I guess. because they're forced to bring out Zacian, and yeah, because I really wanted to like Steel Spike up next to a Groudon potentially. It still works out. Durant is definitely looking terrifying for my opponent right now. So let's see here. What are they going to bring out? I'm not exactly sure what they bring out either. I think... But they go Zacian. It could be Zacian. Mamoswine doesn't make sense here. Mimikyu? Okay, makes sense. Mimikyu definitely makes sense. I kind of want to Steel Spike up and go Groudon, because Steel Spiking up Groudon seems really solid in this matchup. Because of the fact that once I keep boosting up Groudon, I should be like free to click Blades here. Like I'm really free to click Blades in general right here. And yeah, I think just getting the Steel Spikes up with Groudon so it can handle the Zacian even more effectively in the long term is just better. So I don't care if they take the knockout on Durant either. I don't think it's that bad of a situation if they do. They're gonna fake out my Sigilyph slot, maybe to avoid a Hypnosis and try to do something with their I think they're gonna try to Trick Room. I'd imagine this is like a Trick Room setup, but I'm just denying their option of setting up I'm just denying their option of like getting into a really solid spot here, because Groudon Precipice Blades is threatening so much right now. So let's see, is it Trick Room? I'll go Incineroar the following turn for Durant, I think, as well. If it is Trick Room, it is Trick Room. Okay, yeah. So I can go Incineroar and click Blades right here, and yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I'm never giving them like a very good opportunity to get a free switch. I also don't give them a knockout opportunity unless they double crit me, which would suck, but whatever. And then there's the there's a chance for them to double dodge Blades. If this is Dusty Bond Mimikyu, that might be the biggest concern, but I think I'd still be fine because I'd still have an Incineroar under the sun that can threaten the Zacian. And yeah, like they don't have a switch into Bandit Blades, and yeah, this is the reason why. Because like, let's say I stayed in with Sigilyph, yes, I could have reverse Trick Room if they had it, but A, you don't know where they're targeting. B, if they did make the play that they did, which was fake out and Trick Room, if Incineroar has a dark move or goes for taunt, or Mimikyu has taunt. Mimikyu is a Pokemon that carries taunt quite frequently. Could have went for that. I didn't deny Trick Room, and then I'd be in a kind of an awkward spot. Well, Groudon setting up Steel Spike for Zacian is really good, as well as this position I'm in right now, just being able to click Blades pretty freely, unless they have like a way to burn me through Will-O-Wisp, I think. Play rough, that's fine. Not going to do that much to Groudon, not that much to Groudon at all. Play rough, it's going to come out. Is that double up, or is that going to target the Durant? It targets the Durant. Yep, fair enough. And assuming I have Blades here, I should get a double knockout, I assume. Blades, it does connect. Wow. As double knockout from the Blades is able to knock out the Mimikyu and the Incineroar, and yeah, dealing with Zacian should be pretty free here for the most part. Is there a position that I could see that screws me over here? I think if I Flare Blitz, yeah, Sun Boost at Flare Blitz just does so much where I can't see them. They can't get a double knockout either. So let me think. Is there a way? I guess this is Tailwind, but I mean, Zacian should be faster than Incineroar at this speed. I guess I go for Flare Blitz here, and I guess they swap, right? How many times does Sugar Moon left? 3. Think about how I position this. I think I Flare Blitz, and I think I can afford to go for 1 Blades here. I'm trying to think about how they win this, and they would need like triple protect. Even then, it's like super dicey. I think it's possible to win, I think, but they don't take it. I am able to Flare Blitz. I guess I could have faked out Precipice Blades too, but if I missed, it didn't really change much. And the fake out damage, I don't think puts in the Flare Blitz range after Sun is over. So yeah, Flare Blitz able to pick up a knockout on Zacian, and that is going to be a win right there, which is pretty nice. I think overall that game was just being able to, well, I think like that knockout turn 1 was fantastic. I didn't need to knock out turn 1 though. It did put them in a weird spot, but I'm assuming it's a Solid Vest Thunderous, because the Thunderous just didn't do damage, so I'm assuming it has to be a Solid Vest. They're kind of pinned that turn. I guess they could save Thunderous. I don't think that's like a big deal for me in the long term either. The only thing that I guess would have changed would have been the ground switching, but as long as I get Gravity up, I think it's fine. And I could definitely find a way to set up Gravity, I think, in that spot, especially since they went for the Tard into the other slot. And yeah, being able to just like get Groudon offensively, I think that turn, being able to Steel Spike up pretty safely, switch into Incin, And yeah, it was just pin them slot, because if they didn't Trick Room, my Groudon was sweeping with Precipice Blades. If they set up Trick Room, I have an Incin, and Groudon's still threatening with Precipice Blades, and they can't really get a knock on a Groudon. The worst they could do is slow down or pray for misses at that point, and basically I just have to rely on that. All right, we got Daisy with an interesting team. This is Necrozma Dustmane with Tyranitar, Incineroar, Lapras, Alcremie with Amoonguss. So it kind of looks like the team that Yoko used a while ago with bulky Lapras plus the Necrozma, but it has an Alcremie, which makes the offensive the offensive capabilities of this team to be more effective, especially with Decorate that can affect the Lapras or the Necrozma, which makes this kind of interesting here. They don't have a ground switching, so Blaze does a ton of damage to them. I like Durant quite a bit here because Durant plus just Durant plus Groudon looks offensive, and it could definitely do a ton of damage. So kind of like that. You know what? I'll go for it. I think Rotom-Wash Incin is actually pretty good in the back. I don't need Gravity at all, I think, against this team. I think like I could set up for Rotom endgame as well. So I think I'll go with those four. Yeah, like Venusaur can do work, but it only works against the Lapras really, which I don't think is that big of a deal to have it against Lapras specifically. I can deal that with Rotom, and Durant is going to do a ton of damage to their team. So yeah, I think it's just fine to do this. Let's see what they're going to bring out. It's going to be the Necrozma Alcremie lead. Okay, perfect. I get Steel Spike and Blades. I could also just Quake and Blades. I have so many plays that I can make here. Offensively, I'm in a very good spot here with Precipice Blades that I do outspeed Alcremie, max speed Alcremie. The only problem is if they're Scarf. If they're Scarf with a fire move. Oh my goodness. But overall, I think it's okay. I could also double up the Necrozma and potentially pick up a knockout, which is definitely a potential possibility I could see. Like Phantasm and the Blades? Hold up. Phantasm and the Blades looks pretty good here. There's no switch in Incineroar? Forget it. Yeah, I'm going for it. They could protect and go for Decorate, because Decorate, I think Decorate goes to protect. I don't think it goes through Max Guard. If someone wants to correct me in the comments, they can. But I'm pretty sure Decorate goes to protect, but it doesn't go through Max Guard here, so I don't think I have to worry about that. Let's see here. But I do have to hit Blades on the Necrozma. I think I could afford to miss out Creamy, but Necrozma I do have to hit. Baby doll eyes. The tech move into the Groudon. However, this is a Phantasm into the Necrozma. That does so much. Wow, that does so much. Durant is actually insane. Precipice Blades, can we connect on the Necrozma? Fingers crossed. It's weakness policy. I could be in a really bad spot if I don't hit this. I sacrifice going for Steel Spike. Maybe I should have went for Stomping, but oh no, that's pretty bad, man. That's pretty bad. Okay, unfortunate, very unfortunate. Dang, man. Dang it. I guess I Quake here. Yeah, I'm gonna Quake, go out in an instant, I think. Dang, that's so unfortunate. Hitting Blazer just sealed up the game, I think, because they don't have a Pokemon that's faster than these Pokemon. So yeah, like their entire team is basically slow, so I would have been in a good spot. I'm expecting Steel Spike here, which is why I'm switching on to Groudon, because I think Steel Spike can make sense here, potentially. Or maybe they just Sunsteel Strike for damage. They do Dynamax, which is actually kind of crazy. Is this the Alcremie? Am I going to get Max Flared? Am I going to get Max Flared? Okay, it's just a Necrozma, which is weakened. Necrozma definitely goes down to a Quake, though, even if they Baby Doll Eyes again. It's kind of weird seeing the really low HP Necrozma, but I guess they don't have a Pokemon they want to Dynamax. We're going to see Max Guard, okay. Does Decorate go through? Oh, just Gleam, okay. That's fine. I actually think I prefer this position. I'm assuming they don't have Mystical Fire. I don't know what your moveset would be, though. Maybe... I think I go for Flare. I think I just double up the Necrozma. Actually, no, because I have no idea what the speed tiers are like. I think I'm just going to Quake the Necrozma and I'm going to fake out the Alcremie. Because there's a chance Alcremie does have a fire move. Well, if you had a fire move, you would have went for it, right? Yeah, but I think Necroz is probably slower than Instant anyway. So yeah, I think I just fake out Creamy. I think it's okay. It's an okay mid ground because I feel like this should be min speed Necrozma on the team, and I can't underspeed it anyway. I definitely live an attack with Durant too. They go for Quake here. This is probably Instant taking the knockout. Oh, they know they do target Durant. That actually KO'd? Oh, don't tell me this is special. I didn't think physical would pick up a knockout at +1 because it's +1 with Intimidate. I guess I should have went for Flare Blitz, huh? All right. Tough. Gonna go Groudon, I guess. Position wise, it's not looking that great. Not looking that great. Unfortunate turn 1, but that's how the game goes with the Blades, which is why I want to make a fun team with Groudon and Gravity. Tyranitar gonna come out, okay. Understandable. I think Rotom-Wash can still win this end game, so I'll definitely try to win with Rotom. Problem is, I don't know if Flare Blitz knocks out the Necroz with that range, especially if they get a Steel Spike. But, oh yeah, I'll definitely knock out with the Sun. Okay, getting the Sun up here is really solid. They're probably going to target the Groudon, right? I feel like targeting the Instant... Like, the Groudon's definitely the bigger threat. I think they know I'm banded at this point. I'm going to Flare Blitz. Well, actually, they might not know I'm banded because I didn't hit the Necrozma. In revealed damage, because all they know is that neutral Precipice or -1 Precipice Blades was able to bring it to Sash, or well, basically it was like neutral Groudon versus Creamy. I have no idea what their investment is. Go Rotom here. I'd imagine it's max speed. Steel Spike going to come out perfect into the Rotom, so they did respect the threat of my Groudon. I'm hoping Flare Blitz KOs because that's what I need here, and I can't afford like a flinch or anything. Don't be Stone Edge. Nice. Flare Blitz picks up a knockout even through that Prism Armor. I was really worried that it wouldn't KO. That's actually amazing as we are able to get rid of Necrozma. Fantastic. As we're gonna see Tyranitar get Rock Slide off here probably. Nice that we dodge. Incineroar dodge is pretty big. Pretty nice, pretty nice. We're missing our inaccurate moves, but at the end of the day, this works out beautiful for me. Rotom going to be able to heal up with the Citrus Berry, and then it's down to the last two. Is this Lapras endgame? I feel like Blades is going to do a ton of work for this endgame. Yeah, it is Lapras. So I guess I'm actually surprised they Dynamax and Necrozma, but maybe they wanted just Lapras for Perish Song endgame. Okay, this gets tricky. Rock Slide Freeze Dry is probably their play. I think Parting Shot out here to Lapras kind of makes sense to me. I think this Tyranitar is probably Focus Sash, but I really can't tell. I'm just going to protect Rotom because I don't want to take a Freeze Dry. Perish doesn't do anything here. If you're my opponent, yep, they do go for the Freeze Dry, and I do get the Parting Shot off, which is really good here because I get to avoid the Rock Slide from Tyranitar. I don't think Rock Slide from Tyranitar would have picked up a knockout though at the range I was at. So yeah, I go Groudon here. Even I don't know what they could do to read this. I don't think they have like a thing that can specifically make a read here. I'll go Groudon here. We're gonna see Rock Slide. Yep, so we're completely okay here. We get to go for Blades and a Thunderbolt into the Lapras, or should I just go for the Stomping Tantrum, which I don't think is worth it, mainly because if I miss a knockout on Lapras somehow with Thunderbolt plus Stomping, I don't think it's worth it. 2, there's a chance that Tyranitar gets a crit on Rotom as Lapras protects, and that would be really bad here. Precipice Blade should easily knock out a Tyranitar, and I don't have to worry about policy. And we hit our Blades. Oh, feels good to hit our Blades as we are able to get a Thunderbolt off into the Lapras. We actually missed a knockout on Tyrant. Wait. How did we miss a knockout on Tyranitar? Was it Sash? Or is that just like max bulky? What? I'm actually confused that Tyranitar survived the Banded Precipice Blades because they don't have Reflect Up or anything. Unless it was Sash. No, yeah, it wasn't even to Sash range. Wow. I'm actually surprised because that's Banded Precipice Blades. That does a ton of damage, but all right. Like it can KO Incineroar at neutral. Precipice Blades plus T-Bolt should be able to secure. I think I actually know. What I should have done is I know Groudon's 100% faster than Tyranitar. No Quick Claw. I'm not counting in Quick Claw. I could go, I could switch here to make sure I can't miss. Yeah, let's check their team. Okay, I want to know. Policy on the Necrozma. Pretty bulky Pokemon. We're going to see the Assault Vest Tyranitar. Oh, Assault Vest Tyranitar. With no Dynamax, I'm actually very surprised. I guess you're either Dynamaxing the Necrozma or Lapras, but I would still have like Dynamax Tyranitar available, especially against Sun teams. Fire Punch, Rock Slide, Crunch. It's just max attack, max HP too. Is that max attack? Yeah, it is, right? 204. Yeah, Tyranitar's base 134, I think. Yeah. And Incineroar, okay. Light Clay on the Lapras. Yep, it was Perish Song like the original team. Focus Sash out Creamy with I don't know where that investment is. Max Defense, okay. With Decorate, Dazzling Gleam, Aromatherapy, and Baby Doll Eyes. Aromatherapy makes sense because of Sleep, and Baby Doll Eyes. No Protect is kind of interesting. I think Protect could have helped them for sure. And Coba Berry, Moongus with Pollen Puff. So I guess your strat here, just set up Trick Room, or maybe like set up the Veil immediately. Try to set up with Necrozma and with Decorate stuff, and then Pollen Puff if it gets weakened. So yeah, that's a pretty cool team. I think turn one could have just straight up won turn one, but didn't happen. We had to play around it, which I think generally we did well. There's like always that chance though they did target my Incineroar instead of my Groudon. There is always a place, but I think at that point I had to make a read anyway, and Groudon was definitely the target there because they didn't exactly have the best Groudon answers, especially with like Blades doing so much damage. So yeah, I can understand them targeting the Groudon, especially since like if they lost both Pokemon there to Groudon, and if they get the read wrong, if I like switch out Incineroar and Rotom, like it was bad no matter what. They just had to call it, and luckily got the position right. But yeah, thankfully we were able to take that one. And yeah, that is going to be it for today's episode of VGC 2021 back-to-back battles. I hope you all enjoyed it. Durant. Ooh, Durant was so good. The damage that Durant was actually doing was actually pretty insane. I actually really was like, wow, this thing does some damage. It really does. It's frail as heck, but it will do damage. Like, but yeah, of course, if you do want to try out the team, the rental code's available in the description, available for 2 weeks. Make sure you try out the rental code while you can, as well as the pay spin available in the description down below as well. You can go check out my other social medias like my Twitch channel where I do live stream, ask me questions there. And feel free to check me out on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, Reddit, all those social medias down below in the description. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a great day, people. And until we bow again, I'll catch y'all later.